Florida Gators fell to the Vanderbilt Commodores 34-17 for the first loss in Gainesville to the Commodores since 1945. Now, also a big part is Andre DeBose on special teams. He took one 62-yard punt return for a touchdown, had several more big rushes on special teams. Cody, how important is he to this team?
He's big, obviously.
Now, it's no question that Florida's wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson was a beast in their win against Kentucky with 15 catches, but Alabama also has a stud in wide receiver Amari Cooper, so we're going to be looking at a lot at the passing game this weekend. Cody, who has the leg up here with that first-time Florida quarterback starting? Coach Muschamp gets his first win against this whole Florida-Georgia rivalry as a coach and as a player. So, Cody, can you kind of assess Treon Harris and his performance tonight? He only had 6 passes all night, but he still had a good start.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's.
And on Florida State's offense, Jameis Winston played arguably the worst game of the season. He threw 4 interceptions and only had 125 yards. How was Florida's defense able to slow him down so much?
Secondary.
And on defense, they're going to start to look a little bit more like themselves on Saturday. They're getting Keanu Neal back at safety, as Muschamp told us this morning. Cody, what does that do for their defense? Now, one thing that we've learned from Florida's defense is that they really know how to put pressure on the offense. We've talked to linebacker Antonio Morrison and Vernon Hargraves before the season started, and they said that they know the defense like the back of their hand. Now, there were a lot of questions as to why Florida didn't put in backup quarterback Treon Harris against Alabama when they were doing bad, and all the coaches say the same thing. Jeff Driscoll gives them the best chance to win. Now, with all that criticism, Jeff Driscoll is going to need to improve, but the question is, Cody, where at?
A lot of different places. The passing game.
Right now, LSU is going to have some young players this weekend, and Florida's going to need to really show that they can handle that on defense. But, Cody, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, the defense needs to.
Hey, I'm Amanda Wood here in St. Pete with Ryan Davis, where he just signed his national letter of intent with Auburn University. Ryan, it's been a long journey, this whole recruiting process. Well, Florida travels to Alabama next week to take on the Crimson Tide. They're 1-0 in conference play, and they're continuing that SEC action, and we'll have you covered right here for all your Gator sports updates, so keep it locked. For Cody Jones, I'm Amanda Wood. Welcome back. I'm Amanda Wood, getting you caught up on what's happening in sports. The Florida volleyball team is looking to go 7-0 in the Southeastern Conference as they hit the court in South Carolina to take on the Gamecocks tonight. Florida is sitting up high in the rankings as the 8th best team in the nation. More news after the break. Stay with us. Alabama and Ole Miss are getting plenty of attention this weekend as they meet up for an SEC Top 25 rivalry. The 11th ranked Ole Miss Rebels are flashing a stellar defense so far this season. Welcome back. I'm Amanda Wood. Florida football gets back to the gridiron this weekend after resting up on a bye week. Georgia is often a tough battle for the Gators, and this Georgia team has climbed inside the top 10. Florida is hoping to put the Dogs down as they turn the reins over to freshman quarterback Treon Harris. The NCAA announced today it's requiring Georgia's star running back Todd Gurley to sit out 2 more weeks. Gurley will serve a total suspension of 4 games for accepting $3,000 in autographed memorabilia. Also taking on the Georgia Bulldogs is the Florida volleyball team, which is on a hot streak. The Gators are undefeated in the SEC, and Jeremy Guthrie will throw the first pitch in Kansas City tonight at 8:07. That's it for sports. More news after the break. Stay with us. Every school in the Southeastern Conference has one, except for Florida, and according to Athletic Director Jeremy Foley, an indoor football practice facility is far down the list of priorities. Florida's summer Will Muschamp football camp has been plagued with bad weather, leaving players and parents in scrutinizing conditions.
Well, they could get out of the elements, the sun and the rain and everything, and they could have a better practice without the sweat, without the extra heat. It takes some pressure off the parents also, because I'm standing over here trying to get out of the sun myself.
Gainesville sees rain a third of the year, with the highest levels in the month of August, the same month dedicated to football practice.
I know the administration has looked into, the construction of a new facility, but they're also looking at renovating the O'Connell Center, which is another necessary need. And then, the finances involved. You're talking about land, but you're also talking about a lot of money involved. And where does that money come from?
A rather serious matter of having every practice outdoors is the risk of injury. It was last summer on this field that Florida lost defensive lineman Dominic Easley to a season-ending ACL tear that prompted one of the worst seasons in Florida football history. Though Florida is behind the competition for practice facilities, it is important to note that good things take time.
And they anticipate, how can we win championships? What does it take? And like years ago, the softball facility wasn't here on campus. When they built it, they built the best one ever. Lacrosse wasn't here on campus. When they built it, they built the best one ever.
At the 2014 Pro Day, football players looking to show off in front of scouts and get drafted had several problems that day due to the weather.
You know, unfortunately our Pro Day was downpouring and storming the whole time. So we had to go and do a lot of stuff in the weight room and do a lot of testing in the AstroTurf.
Head coach Will Muschamp, who was not available for comment, has stated that practices have run short due to heat and rain. Florida quarterback Jeff Driscoll took part in a class project in Dr. DeMichael's class where he and a group designed an indoor practice facility. It was stated in the project that when weather is bad, the team has to practice inside the O'Connell Center, where there are size limitations and the team cannot get much practice in. Budgets for the University Athletic Association are instead focused on renovations to the O'Connell Center and the Office of Student Life, or OSL. Student athletes spend countless hours studying in OSL, and it tends to be one of the most important facilities toured by recruits and their families. Athletic Director Jeremy Foley stated their focus is on the OSL and the O-Dome, and they intend to wow visitors when they see the facility. Foley stands with his statement that there are no plans for an indoor practice facility, but added never say never. Amanda Wood, WUFT News.